Thanks for having me on, Lisa.
Carl.
Yeah, to everyone at home, these are two words we're getting used to, unfortunately, at the moment, aren't we? The problems for Cootes could result in the company shedding more than 500 jobs, part of this alarming trend of job losses in our heavy industries. Massive cuts are coming at Alcoa. Up to 1,000 jobs could go in Western Sydney. Meantime, in Victoria, at least 800 jobs are on the block because of the closure of the company's aluminium smelter. 500 spots to go at Ford, big cuts at the Qantas facility in Avalon, and 500 positions potentially in the balance at Shell. It's a lot, isn't it? These job losses are being felt right across the country, but Geelong is really copping it, and the city's Mayor Darryn Lyons joins us now. Darryn, good morning to you. Obviously you can't control all of this or any of it, but it's still going to be a massive shock to Geelong and it's going to have a massive impact on Geelong and the economy.
Yeah, it's not only just about the Alcoa workers, which our obviously hearts go out to over the last 48 hours, and this mayor hasn't had much sleep without question. But Carl, yeah, it's tragic news for the area, but I'll be travelling to Melbourne this afternoon, see the Federal Industry Minister and the Prime Minister, and with some heavy discussions about exactly what kind of packages we're going to have down here, because we need jobs creation. I'll
get on to what you actually can do in a second, but first of all, let's go back to Alcoa. Alan Kranzberg says the cuts at his company are inevitable. Take a listen to this.
The reality is that this plant is not financially viable into the future, and we will obviously work very hard to make this as painless as possible.
Darryn, you're going to have to get used to those words. This is just not financially viable.
Oh, look, the fact of the matter is, Carl, and that's one of the reasons why I put my hand up for the popularly elected mayor down here, because it needs a little bit more smart thinking into the future. The amount of band-aids that are put on the Australian workforce and industries over the past decade have just been band-aids, propping things up. If we had actually spent that money more wisely and built a smart 21st century Australia for the future, which is what my brand for Geelong is going forward, we'd be in a much better place. The fact of the matter is we are going to have a rocky 18 months. People have to get used to that. I said that before the election, and I'm still saying it now. It's going to be tough. We've got to think about retraining these people. At the end of the day, Geelong is progressing at a great rate of knots. It's not all bad news down here. This is certainly bad news at the moment, and we're prepared for more bad news. But it's about getting off my butt and all the leaders' butts and actually making things happen. So, it's not about getting your picture in the paper. It's about making decisions, and the right decisions are absolutely crucial at this stage for the whole Australian economy going forward.
Okay, so just on that, and not about getting your picture in the paper, and it's not about coming on our show just to be the mayor of Geelong when you don't actually ever achieve anything. What are you trying to achieve here? What needs to happen in Geelong to save these jobs from going or to grow into the future? Because it needs to happen now.
Well, it is happening now, Carl. We've got Deakin at Warm Ponds with the Carbon Nexus Revolution, which is really basically the smart industry of the future. I've been up and tried to procure land 400 for Geelong and Canberra only this last week. It's been a pretty heavy week with 10 meetings in Canberra. We have to spend our money in Australia. We have to buy Australian, and we have to create IP. This is not about, you know, the issue is what happened when the horse and cart business went out. It was because the car came in. Now the car business is leaving Australia. It's the next thing. It's all about intellectual property and technology. And we have very smart people here. Even Ford keep their high-end, high-tech design in Geelong. Why? Because we're good at it. Australians are smart. And what has to happen is politicians need to start looking at making Australia sustainable over 40 and 50 years, not just a 4-year term in government. And that's where I feel that we go very, very wrong. It's about the next election all the time.
I love what you're saying, mate. I love what you're saying. I hope that you can fulfil all of those obligations that I know that you feel keenly responsible for. Well, best of luck in the future and trying to manage this and the job losses. It's going to be tough for your community. Thanks for your time, Mayor.
Thanks very much, Carl. Okay. Cheers, guys. Have a great day.
Georgie.